Today's just flow it out. Today's class is all about we're just moving because it's fun to move. And so there's a couple of things at the end that might be a little bit more difficult than what I normally put into a class, but especially if you're used to taking my classes, I will cue ad nauseum some things that you've heard me say over and over to keep your spine nice and long, to draw up from the pelvic floor. And so just keeping those things in mind as the end of this class might move really quickly. And I just trust you guys to follow what works for you. And as always, just go at the rate that feels good to your body. And this is supposed to be really joyful. So maybe some blocks and a blanket or a towel. And you can start sitting up on your towel or your blanket if that feels more comfortable to your hip flexors. Just folding it up, seated near the edge of it. Let your knees kind of fall open. So if you'd like to have some blocks underneath your thighs to kind of soften into those hip creases, go ahead and do so. Just bringing the hands to the top of the knees, maybe a little sway from side to side to feel the hip points and your seat, feeling into the floor, crown of the head reaching upward. As you exhale, feel your shoulder blades soften down your back. Just taking a couple of those deep inhales, fill up the low belly, let the waist expand, let your back body expand, let the ribs expand, collarbone. Imagine that breath all the way to the crown of your head. And as you exhale, keep all that length, but soften around. Exhale, soften the belly, soften the ribs, soften shoulders. Inhale, draw on that deep breath. You can exhale with an open mouth. And just really watch the breath. Become curious as to how this breath is already creating change in your body. Maybe you notice your shoulder blades becoming softer. Maybe breath is making you aware of face and the tension in your facial muscles that you've been creating, and see if you can't soften there. Take another big, deep inhale. This time as you exhale, really open your mouth, let out that breath. And then we'll just start keeping sits bones rooted to the ground, making some big circles in the torso. As you reach towards your mid-back, the wall behind you, you can use hands on top of your knees to create that little lever. Inhale forward, exhale. Just starting to notice the belly, the massaging of the low back. Just starting to notice how the body feels, maybe the upper back, your head, your throat. We'll do one more big circle in this direction. And then reverse the direction of the circle. It can be as big or as small as you like it. You can even pause and kind of languish in those spaces that feels really good to stretch in, or maybe there's something that feels almost crunchier and you're kind of working through it. And then as you're ready and coming back towards center, take a moment to inhale, bring that breath up from the pelvic floor all the way to the crown of the head. As you exhale, keep lifting up the pelvic floor so the core stays nice and tight, and it's like everything else around that core softens. On the next inhale, bring those arms overhead. As you exhale, the left hand reaches down, right hand reaches over. That right sits bone stays towards the mat. Keep the shoulder blades open here, or shoulders. Inhale back up to center. Exhale, right hand reaches down, left hand stretches over. Keep that left sits bones down on the ground. And then just start to find a little side to side with your own breath, whatever feels good to you here. Martin Rubin said, using our body to free our mind. That's the blessing bestowed by movement, by action. So starting to allow your body to find some openness even joy, allowing your body to free up some space that maybe you're taking up, and more joy can be added to it. Inhale, wherever you are, come back towards center, and then if you feel like you'd like a little switch out of the legs, go ahead and do so. Once again, inhale, reach those arms overhead. As you exhale, start to use your core, drawing up from the pelvic floor. On the exhale, use your core to twist that left shoulder back. Right hand comes to the top of the left knee. Take a pause and then inhale. Go long through the spine as you exhale, twisting a little bit deeper. Take another inhale. As you exhale, bring those hands up. Use the core to twist back forward. Another inhale to reach up. Exhale, draw that breath. Like if you could lift up through the pelvic floor and feel that twist coming from the belly. Left hand on the top of the right knee. Pause, take another inhale through center. Exhale, maybe a little bit deeper in your twist. Use that core to twist so we're not so much creating a lot of tension in the shoulders, jamming into the twist. Inhale, lengthen up. As you exhale, come back towards center. Take a nice big inhale. As you exhale, gently walk those hands forward, a little forward fold here. Inhale, walk the torso up. And then kind of bringing the feet more into like a cobbler's pose, but feet away from your seat. So you've created this big, huge diamond shape or whatever is comfortable. It doesn't need to be super big. And we're going to do some kind of seated cat-cows. But as you inhale, think of inhale, broadening and widening, expanding the space in the hips so that low belly really expands. Hands can come to the top of the knees. As you exhale, drop up from the pelvic floor. Keep drawing upwards to expel all of that air. Inhale, sweep it forward. Let the belly get wide and warm, the back, the sides. And then as you exhale, draw up from the pelvic floor. Use that core, expel the air out. You can round through here for a moment. Next, inhale, maybe release the hands from the legs. Inhale forward. You can even do a little Charlie Angel's mudra if you like. Exhale, draw up from the pelvic floor. This time lift the knees or the feet towards the hands. Inhale, sweep it forward. Get that belly nice and wide. As you exhale, draw up from the pelvic floor as if you were lifting your legs from your core up, up, up. Inhale. Exhale. Really breathe it out. Keep that back nice and long. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Then exhale. This time, bring the knees together. You can bring hands underneath the hamstring. Take an inhale to lengthen here through the spine. So now in boat pose. Take a nice big inhale, filling up that low belly. As you exhale, snap it down. Inhale, fill the low belly. Exhale, snap it. So the snapping is like drawing the belly button towards your upper back almost. So a few more. Inhale, just little breaths of fire. And release your feet down. So now that we've kind of heated up the core, windshield wiper those knees from side to side. And then rolling over into tabletop. So if you have a particularly hard floor or maybe some healing happening in your knees, feel free to bring a towel or a blanket. We're going to start to warm up the wrists. So this time making sure, oftentimes I'll say your wrists can be forward of the shoulders, but since we're kind of warming up, fan out the fingers nice and wide and little gecko fingers. So if you could kind of gently grip the mat with the edge of your finger pads and just start to make some circles. So adding some weight, draw that low belly in and up so that low belly is supporting the back. Then bringing the weight a little bit over those wrists and making some nice little circles. So moving nice and slowly into the weight in the wrist. And if you're having some healing or feeling a lot of discomfort, feel free to use some blocks here. And that kind of lessens a lot of the load into the wrists, but we're still gently warming up the wrists. So whatever feels best to you. Going to be doing some side planks. You want to make sure that the wrists are warmed up here. So keeping the left hand, the left middle finger down towards the mat, maybe sliding it a little bit closer to you. So left fingertip is down on the mat. Then you're going to spin your thumb to the outside and then lay that hand back down and then come back. Maybe even over rotating, just a little bit of weight. So we're not loading all of the weight into the left hand, we're just creating a little to feel that stretch in the forearm. So back and forth, using that middle finger to tack down, arm spins around. As much as the range of motion that feels good to you. A couple more like this. And then move to the right hand. So maybe the right hand slides back just slightly. Keep that right middle finger down towards the mat. Spin the hand so that thumb is towards the outside, and then just lean in slightly. Not a ton of weight. We're just stretching, just slowly warming up, and then spin it back, but over rotate it. Only to your range of motion. Back and forth. Keep that breath going. So using movement to kind of feed the soul, paying attention to how our body feels, can kind of lead us down that path of what brings us joy, even when we're not moving our body. So then tuck those toes under, bring those wrists wherever it feels comfortable, fan out the fingers, a little bit of spinal flossing. So as you inhale, lift up the tailbone just like as you would in cat-cow, but send those hips back just slightly. Maybe you'd like to send your hips all the way back to your heels, that's fine. I usually kind of do my spinal flossing not all the way back. As you exhale, now round through but roll forward, adding a little bit more weight to those wrists. Inhale, hips tilt up, that heart shines through, chin comes up, and then maybe let those hips kind of pull you back nice and gently. Exhale, round through, and lean forward. Really press all that air out, space between your shoulder blades. You're starting to warm up here on the spine. Exhale forward. And just find that breath, that movement here, opening up the backs of the feet. I often will do this, if nothing else. If I don't get any other movement for the whole day, this is what I'll do. Really opens up the back of the feet, the back body, stretches the front body. So a couple more. Let that neck go as it feels good. So not lifting the chin too high if it does not feel good on the cervical spine. And come back to that neutral position. Take a nice big inhale as you exhale. Press into the feet, press the hands forward, first downward dog. You can keep the knees bent as you kind of set up, as you press the mat away. Find that neutral shoulder position, so not too far by the ears, but not too far down the back, or else you find that flare in the ribs. Nice neutral position, then soften into the knees. Heels will reach towards the floor. They do not need to touch. Take a little moment here to take a big inhale and exhale. Let something go. Take a look forward on your mat. Soften into your knees. Bring those elbows straight back. And then bring those feet directly underneath the hips. Forward fold. Nice deeply bent knees. Release any tension in the head or neck. You can sway from side to side if that feels good to you. And as you're ready on that next inhale, hands can slide at the shins. Find a little half lift. Keep weight back in the heels, weight back in the hips. Exhale, unfurl. Use that core to unfurl. Come all the way up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Inhale, bring those arms up. As you exhale, forward fold, deep bend in those knees. Take a nice little inhale to find a little half lift. As you exhale, plant the hand, send it back to downward facing dog. Take a nice inhale to prepare. As you exhale, bend the knees, come up high on those toes, wave the spine forward. Your choice. You can lower those knees, chaturanga down, keep the elbows by your side, not bending into the elbows more than 90 degrees. Lower the hips, draw shoulder blades back, press all 10 toenails into the floor. Inhale, little baby cobra up. As you exhale, lower all the way down. We're gonna get a little bit warmer in the back because we're going places today. So bring those fingertips, where can you see right here? But they're gonna be wide off your mat. So this hand is a little too close. I have to bring it off, but I think I'm out of camera that way. So just so you can see like little spider fingers. So if your fingertips are towards the floor, and then try and draw them all in towards the center. Elbows are gonna stay up. Press all 10 toenails into the mat. Light up the legs so the kneecaps lift. Soften the tailbone, think of pubic bone to belly button. And on your next inhale, you're gonna inhale up from the pelvic floor, almost as if there's kind of balloons in your armpits. Inhale, feel that chest lift. Keep those legs nice and strong. As you exhale, let the shoulder blades glide down your back. Legs are really strong here. Inhale, let that inflate up from the pelvic floor, almost as if the breath was moving up into your armpits. Maybe your back lifts a little bit more. Mindful of your back here. Exhale, lower all the way down. Both hands on top of each other, forehead to your hands. Maybe rock your hips from side to side. You can windshield right by the legs too. Big deep inhale, big cleansing exhale. Bring those hands by the side and tuck the toes under, draw the shoulder blades down your back, firm up the core first. So think of pubic bone to belly button, hip points towards each other, then press up and all the way back, downward facing dog. Hips are high. Big deep inhale, cleanse and clearing exhale. Take a look forward, soften into the elbows and the knees. You can hop, walk, step, whatever it is. Bring those feet under the hips. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, unhinge here. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Find a little moment. Let your shoulder blades draw down your back. Feel your shoulders coming nice and tall. So feel that length, like a tall mountain. Shoulders stacked over hips, ears over the shoulders. The crown of the head is reaching upwards. As you inhale, bring weight back into the heels, weight back into your hips, coming into chair pose. Reach those arms up. Take a nice big breath here. As you exhale, send that left foot back. Coming to high crescent, so making sure you're more on railroad tracks than you are a tightrope. You can bend the back knee first. Take an inhale to find some length in the spine. Exhale, then bring the torso up. Then if it feels good to your back, you can straighten-ish into that back leg. Take a nice big inhale. If it feels good, lifting those ribs up and reaching back, go ahead and do so. Only if that feels good today. Exhale, bring both hands on either side of that right foot. Bringing that left hand down. You can also have a block here. So now that that left hand is down, we can bring that right hand back. Couple options, just open into side plank here. You can lower the left knee if you'd like. Take a nice big inhale. Cleansing, clearing, exhale. If you have both feet out, or I guess I'm sorry, if you just have your knee out, then bring that right foot a little bit more back, left foot to meet it. And we're gonna take a little seat here. Or if you were up into side plank, step that right foot back and off the mat, take that seat down. So kind of warming up for some wild thing here. So that right foot is down, left foot is up. Left hand is behind you. Grow long first in the spine. Inhale, draw out from the pelvic floor. As you exhale, press that right heel into the mat. Think of those hips lifting first. And this heart is shining upwards, upwards. Find that length Then reach the arm back maybe if it feels good. Or you can keep those hips down and just reach up. Wherever you're at, take another big inhale. As you exhale, just easily flip it over. That right foot comes back, right hand comes back, downward facing dog. Nice big inhale, cleansing, clearing exhale. Your choice. You can go through a chaturanga, so wave that spine forward. You can lower the knees, lower it down. Inhale it up as far as feels good to you. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. Exhale. Take a look forward. Deep bend in the knees. Bring those feet forward any way you like. Forward fold. Inhale, find a half lift. Exhale, unhinge. Bring it all the way up. Inhale, reach those arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center, finding that nice tall mountain again. Inhale, send that seat back in a chair. As you exhale, bring that right foot back. Inhale, find some length first. Exhale, maybe you bend the back knee, then lift up the chest, then unfurl, straighten that leg. If it feels good to you to find a little back bend, go ahead. As you exhale, bring both hands on either side. Really kind of plant that right hand down as you begin to twist, open into side plank. Your choice. Use a block if that feels better for your wrist. Keep both feet here, opening up. You can bring that right knee down, whatever feels good to you. Maybe gaze up at those left fingertips. As you exhale, bring that left leg behind you now. Place that seat down. Take an inhale, go long through the spine. Press the hand into the floor. Then keep pressing that heel down as you exhale. Those hips lift. Keep those hips driving upward, heart shining upward before you start to look back, or maybe just as far as that wild thing takes you, as far as feels good. Exhale, bring it back to downward facing dog. Nice big inhale, cleansing, clearing. Exhale, maybe you'd like to run through a little chaturanga, your choice. Keep those elbows at 90 degrees wherever you're at. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. This time, take an inhale, come up high on those toes, wave the spine forward. Exhale, both heels go to the left. Deep bend the knees. Press that chest back. Back to downward facing dog. Inhale, wave the spine forward. Exhale, heels go to the right, deep bend in the knees, chest straight back. Back to downward facing dog. Take a nice look forward, deep bend the knees, and find your way to the front of your mat, feet underneath the hips. Inhale, find a little half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, find a half lift. This time, exhale, lift that torso using your core. Inhale it up. Exhale. Hands to heart center. We're going to add on a little more to that. Inhale, reach those arms up. Exhale, send the hips back. Inhale, find some length in the spine. Then send that left leg back. Inhale, once again, lengthen. Exhale, then find that crescent. Maybe a little back bend. As you exhale, bring that hand back down to the mat or a block. Send that right leg back. Open it up. Inhale. As you exhale, bring that right foot behind you. I like to lower my hips before, then press into that wild thing. Press those hips up. Keep that length in the spine. As you exhale, come back. Bring that right foot back, right hand back. Downward facing dog. We're going to keep spinning, so keep that right foot up. Let it thread through to the left. And just kind of keep threading it through. Keep wiggling that leg back wherever it feels good. You'll notice that stretch in the outer thigh. Some people might be down. Some people might be up, wherever it feels good to you. And then just release. So lower that hip down. I'm going to spin back. So lower that hip down and come towards that leg that was just threaded through. So facing that right foot, left leg crosses over the top. Draw that knee to chest. Inhale, grow long through the spine. Exhale, twist. Bring that left back. Big deep inhale, cleansing, clearing, exhale. And come back forward. Now here's where you can play. Bring a block. So keeping in this stance, leaning that right hand into the block. And this is all for fun. Grabbing hold of that right big toe. Inhale, grow long through the spine. As you exhale, lift up, press forward onto that block. Then maybe press all the way up. Keeping hold of that foot. Bring that knee up. So the foot is by your seat. Inhale, go along through the spine. You can also just let go. Come into a standing split. Exhale. Bring that foot down. Take a minute in that forward fold. Side to side. All just for funsies. All just to see how the body is moving and feeling. If you didn't come up, it's fine. It's kind of just fun to pretzel ourselves, unpretzel. Bring weight back into the heels. Take a little inhale, half lift. Weight back into the heels. Exhale, come all the way up. Oh, we forgot a bit in there. Well, we'll come back to that. Exhale. Hands heart center. Inhale, sit back in the chair. Keep that spine nice and long. As you exhale, bring that right foot back, left foot stays forward. Bring it up into crescent. As you exhale, maybe you find that little back bend if that feels good to you. Bring those hands on either side. This time the right hand comes down and open it up. Whatever plank feels good to you today. So it's that full side plank, really using that core to lift up. Maybe your gaze goes towards those fingertips. Wherever you're at, send that left foot a little bit behind you. I always like to soften here. It's a little easier to soften into earth and press everything down into the earth. Lift up the hips, keep that spine nice and long before you reach back. As you exhale, bring that left hand back. That left leg is going to come back and then thread through. Keep kind of wiggling the legs apart. Feel that little stretch in the left hip. And then lower all the way down. So that left leg is forward. Bring that right foot across towards your left hip. Draw that right knee into chest. Little twist towards the back. As you exhale, come all the way back forward. It's really handy to use a block here. Find that length first. Inhale, lift up. So my elbow comes to the inside, taking hold of the big toe here of the left foot. Take another breath. Find that length in the spine. As you exhale, kind of leaning forward into that right foot, into the left hand, and then press it all the way up. You could take hold of the foot, bring the heel by the seat, and lift the knee towards the ceiling. Nice little quad stretch. Or just release, coming into standing split. Just one nice little breath. Exhale, forward fold. Find a little release in that forward fold. As you inhale, find a little half lift. Exhale, bring that torso all the way up. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands come to the heart center. Bring those feet nice and wide. Wherever your feet feel comfortable, they don't need to be perfectly parallel, but just try to evenly distribute the weight behind your pinky toe and behind the space behind your pinky toe, space behind your big toe. Take a big deep inhale in, feel shoulders stacked over hips, ears over shoulders, feel nice and big. Then send those hips back. Wide-legged forward fold. Take a nice inhale, find some length in the spine. Then as you exhale, just feel that release again, all that lengthening and releasing. If it feels good to you to get a little sway from side to side, just to get into those inner hips, inner thighs. Again, it's all about finding that greater ease in the body, that greater joy, being grateful for movement. And come back towards center. Take a nice inhale. Gently draw those heels in, bend into those knees, and as you exhale, come all the way up. Use the torso. Come back to the front of your mats. We'll reach our arms up one more time. As you exhale, deepen the knees, forward fold. Oh, I said I keep it short. So we're going to bring it on down to the floor. Bring your seat down, come all the way down the length of the mat. Gently draw those knees into chest. Maybe make some circles into the knees. Bring that right knee to chest, extend the left leg down the length of the mat. Take the right arm out to the side and gently draw that right knee over to the left as right shoulder blade stays towards the mat. Gaze can go over to your right fingertips. Big deep inhale. As you exhale, just release all the tension between shoulder blades, in your chest, in your throat, in your face. Letting go of your thoughts, just kind of feeling into your body. Letting go of judgment that you may have had about whatever it was that your body did or did not do. And kind of just feeling those beautiful effects of just moving, and then come back towards center. Draw that left knee into chest now. Give it a nice little squeeze. Extend the right leg down the length of the mat. Bring that left arm out like a wing. Gently draw the left knee towards the right as left shoulder blade stays towards the mat. Gaze can go over the left fingertips. Big deep inhale. As you exhale, let that breath show you where you're hovering, where you're holding, where you're kind of trying to release off the mat. For some reason, we like to try and pull ourselves away from gravity, but just let gravity take hold. Just let your body know it's okay to release here. Gently come back towards center. Give yourself any last little bit of movements that you need. Maybe it's happy baby, some dead bug with some joint movements. Maybe if you're doing plow pose, be really mindful of your neck. Be nice and gentle, whatever it is that you need. Kind of get all of that movement out of your body. And then bring your feet to the length of your mat. Let your feet fall open. Draw those shoulder blades back behind your heart. Let the tops of your shoulders soften towards the mat. Palms up and away from your body. Take a big deep breath. Fill up the low belly. Let the breath travel up to the diaphragm. Let it expand the rib cage and your side waist in all directions, your back body. Let your body just get really puffy with air, really big. And then as you exhale, like your body is a heavy blanket just laying on the floor, puddling wider towards gravity. Let your face soften. And just allow yourself as much time in your final resting pose as you can give yourself. So even if it's a little nap on the floor, that's totally okay. And when you're ready to come out of it, then you can, nice and slowly. And thank your body for moving today. Thank your body for all that it's carrying you through. And I thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed.